What do you do when there are so many repeats for when you want to go pick up patterns? You wait and you wait and you wait and you're like, oh, you know, new Butterick and new Look patterns are out, but they're repeat. So let's talk about it, shall we? So if that's some content you would like to see, keep on watching. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade.Designs, and in this video I am going to be giving you the scoop like you have probably seen on Crumpetty and Sewing or Alex from Amazing Lifestyle. If you have seen their video, then you guys are already aware that the Buterick and the new Look patterns are pretty much repeats. So I'm going to tell you what the old pattern is if I have already found those patterns, because most of these patterns I already have. I have either used the pattern already and need a fresh copy, or I did not pick them up during the previous time that they were already released. All right. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Hello, ciao, guten tag, aloha, hola, konnichiwa, sambunani, wagwan, salom, bonjour. If you are returning, you know what to do. Go get your quick snack, something to drink, come on back so we could go ahead and get into this video. So without further ado, I'm going to keep this video as short as possible. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. All right, so I'm going to talk about the Buterick patterns first, and then I'm going to talk about the new Look patterns. Now, the patterns that I am talking about, I am going to be telling you because these are the ones that I picked up. There are a few that I did not pick up that I'm not going to make a huge big mention of those simply because I didn't like those. Okay, so I did not pick up. I'm just going to strictly tell you which ones I picked up. All right, so I'm going to tell you the rack number and the number that's on the instruction side of the envelope as well. So the first one that I did pick up, I picked up both sizes for, you guys know the reasons, because the bust could be the small size, but the hip is always pretty much the bigger size because, hey, your girl got some hips, okay? So the first one is so these are Buterick, so until I get to new Look, I'm not going to say Buterick, Buterick, Buterick. So the first one is B6933, which is kind of like a lifestyle wardrobe. If you are not familiar with Buterick pattern, Buterick have done the lifestyle wardrobe. They kind of took that away, but you could build a whole collection with this pattern. So I do plan on putting this as part of the business wardrobe series. So if you do not have this pattern, go pick this up. Now, this pattern does not remind me of another pattern right at this moment. If this pattern looks similar to another pattern, please let me know in the description box below, or you could personally DM me on Instagram. All right, but this is the first one that I picked up. So the rack number is R11745 for this one, but the number is B6933 if you are interested. And all of the rack numbers and the original numbers will be in the description box below as well. Moving on to the next one. So the next one is, rack number is 11744, but this is Buterick 6924. Now listen, this pattern is two patterns. So for view A, this pattern is I wouldn't say exact, I'm gonna say similar, because you guys could decide if you feel like it's exactly like a pattern, all right? So view A is similar to McCall 6936, go look it up, all right? And view B and C is similar to 6932, McCall 6932. So in my opinion, and yes, this is my opinion, that they took two separate patterns and made it one pattern. Can you do that? Yeah, you can, but it's similar to those patterns. But this pattern is 6924. You guys know that I have done a sew along for view B on the channel. That pattern number was 6927 on the channel. So it's very similar to that pattern as well. All right, moving on to the next one. The rack number is 11739. It's this one right here. and the envelope number is 6929. Now this one, I couldn't think of the pattern exactly that it reminds me of. If you know, put it in the description box below to help the other Soul Sisters out. I couldn't think of what this reminds me of, but I have seen this pattern before in a simplicity pattern. So there you go. Now, one thing I'm going to say before this, now, these have been in my Joann's for just about 2 weeks. But number one, I waited on the sale. And two, I waited for it to be up on the Buterick Simplicity website. And it looks like, you know, T from Crumpety and Sewing and Alex from Amazing Lifestyle, they both think the same way that I'm thinking, is that they're going to wait until the new site come available before they actually post it up on the new website when they all become one. Now, I will say that I've seen the box for the new Know Me patterns in my store. It is not out on the shelves yet. Not in my store, at least. I know some of the stores up north, like in Chicago, some of the stores have theirs out. Mine's are still in a box. I did see those, and they are fire, by the way. But let's jump back into the Buterick patterns right now before I get too far off, all right? Next one, rack number is 11740, and this is 6926 from the inside of the pattern. When I seen this pattern, I already knew that this pattern is 6554. Brittany J. Jones did a complete sew along for this pattern. That's why it's fresh, because I have the exact same fabric that Brittany used for Butterick 6554. So it reminds me exactly of that pattern. I did pick this up as well. I did not cut into 6554, but I wanted a fresh new cut because that pattern that I have is on the bigger sides. And you know, back then I was just picking up patterns as I thought was the size that I needed to pick up, all right? But I did pick up that pattern, and this one is 6926. Next one, rack number is 11736. This is Buterick 6928. Now, when you look at this pattern, you probably cannot think exactly what this pattern would be, but this is the old Buterick 5030. I have that pattern as well in my stash. I have made it before as well. So I like the pattern, and I decided to pick up a new cut of this pattern, but once again, it's 6928 on the inside of the pattern. The old pattern number is Buterick 5030. And the last Buterick pattern that I picked up, it's rack number 11738. And this, on the inside of the envelope, it's Buterick 6934. Now, you guys probably cannot remember this pattern, but this is Buterick 3326. It's a very old sarong wrap skirt type pattern. Once again, it's Buterick 3326. Now, transitioning over from the Buterick patterns into the new look patterns, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed, but I will say every last new look pattern is pretty much an old McCall's pattern. You will see what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and start into the new look patterns, right? So the first one is 6752. At first glance, I already knew what pattern this was. Kind of like a repeat of that pattern because I made it before. I made it in the fall of 2021. This is Simplicity 8513. Now, I made view B on this pattern then. So I went ahead and picked it up because I need a fresh new copy of the same pattern. So if you have Simplicity 8513, look it up. You can also pick up this new look 6752 as well. All right. Next pattern is 6756, right? This pattern is McCall 7131. Look it up. It's pretty much the same. So I mean, I did not pick that pattern up then, but I have it now. And to be honest with you, I do like the wide leg pants and I like the wide leg shorts as well. So I went ahead and picked it up on this pattern. But this pattern number is 6756. Moving on to the next pattern. This is no surprise to me because I have made this pattern before too. It's 6758. So This pattern seemed like the exact same copy of McCall 7757. I just mentioned this pattern when I was talking about my transitional wardrobe, right? So with this one, the entire thing looked like McCall 7757. So if you have that pattern, great. If you did not pick up McCall 7757 when it was released, you could pick up this pattern 6758 so you can have a exact same copy of that pattern. All right, moving on to the next one is 6755. It's an easy to sew pattern. Now on this one, I'm not going to tell what fabrics you can use and all that stuff. And the reason why I'm not telling all of that is simply because these are repeat and I want to keep this video pretty short. What I will probably do is a different video when I sew one of these together and then tell all the details there. All right. Now 6755, New Look 6755. This pattern is 3 different pattern envelopes. All right. So view A is similar to McCall's 8248. View B is similar to a pattern I already did, which is New Look 6659, which I'll go ahead and put up so you can see. And then view A is also like the pleated skirt right here. It's also very similar to a skirt that I did back in, I want to say 2020. It's McCall 7253. Yes, that's the number. So it's 3 different patterns for this one New Look pattern. All right. So I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. They have put many patterns that was bestseller patterns together to make one pattern. I'm saying like it's clever, but I know it's a repeat pattern. All right. But this is 6755. Moving on to the next one. Now this one, I know it's a repeat, but I couldn't think of the number, but it's 6751. I went ahead and picked this pattern up as well. All right. But once again, it's 6751, an easy to sew knit dress. Next one is 6759. This one right here. All right. So I could see this as many different patterns. So you guys know that I did like the recreate of Salt and Pepper, I want to say back in March. And that pattern was Simplicity 9337. That reminds me of view A. All right. Now, when it comes to view B and view A, it reminds me of McCall's 8070. Okay. So, I mean, is this pattern a complete repeat? Yay and nay. But it also reminds me of the Mimi G pattern. I think that pattern number is 9450 as well. So can it be a repeat? Yay. But yeah, I think it's a repeat as well. It's 6759 for this New Look pattern. And the last pattern that I picked up, you guys, this one was super funny because when I say this looked exactly the same, it looks exactly the same. So it's 6749. And this pattern reminds me, every view reminds me of McCall 7974. If you did not pick that pattern up, then go ahead and pick it up. Once again, it's similar to McCall 7974, but this pattern is 6749. All right, that's everything that I picked up for Butterick and New Look. I hope you enjoyed. If you made it this far, do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and also turn on the notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a new video. One last thing, we are now in May. May is officially here. So if you are taking part in #MeMadeMay, go ahead and wear your Me Made garment like I did, right? In the month of May. Now, I will be wearing Me Made every day during the week in the month of May. However, I will document what I wore at the end of the week, all right? I just don't have time this year to take photos. I have time to take photos every single day, but not upload every day. So you guys will see a complete one at the end of each week, all right? Well, that's it for this video. Until next time. Keep sewing.